Anyway, speaking of beautiful people with amazing character, Johnny Somali is facing mandatory prison sentence as new charge emerges. I haven't kept up with this guy for a while, but I just checked in with him because when did I do a video on him? I did a video on him over a month ago, I think. Maybe more. And he was like, he was in Japan and he got arrested in Japan, but they kind of gave him a slap on the wrist. And then he went to South Korea and started doing the same stuff. He's like a nuisance streamer where he's one of those like annoying, loud American dudes who just stream themselves harassing members of the public and women, getting really drunk and just being a fucking menace. And he started doing this in South Korea. Now, the difference between Japan and South Korea is like South Korea is kinda, not really, but kinda at war, right? They're bordering North Korea, and it's like a country where they're not at war, but war could kick off at any minute for any reason, right? So every single man does military service, right? So the entire country is full of people that can just fuck you up. It's not a place that you want to be messing around harassing women. And this Johnny Somali guy did all this horrible stuff. Like he went to a monument for comfort women and like sexually danced on it and touched them. And if you look into comfort women, it's like, they were basically just civilians that were used as sex slaves by invaders, right? And so it's like essentially, doing the Holocaust at, the Holocaust Museum type shit. It's like the worst thing that ever happened in their country, and he's doing that to the monument. So he gets arrested for this and a bunch of other things like being a nuisance, harassing people. A bunch of women have reported him. He's in real severe, actual big trouble. And South Korea does not fuck around, their judicial system. And he's currently, I don't know how, but he's been arrested and he's currently in court. But he's a free man in between court sessions, and he's been streaming. And he's just making it so much worse for himself. Like literally he's getting drunk on stream and calling the judge a bitch that's presiding over his case, which is not finished yet, calling him a bitch, talking about what he's been charged with, and then going out and doing more of it. Right? So as he's being charged in court and as his court case is ongoing, he's copping more and more charges. And it seems like he just wants to go to prison. It seems like he will actually do a lot of time. And I don't know if he like has this huge self-destructive streak and he actually really wants to do heaps of time, or if he thinks he'll get away with it because, he has gotten away with it in every other country that he's gone to. He's just gotten like either kicked out or escaped without consequences, or like in Japan, he's got like a little slap on the wrist and told to leave. I reckon South Korea is going to keep him because someone has to teach him this lesson, right? Infamous streamer Johnny Somali has been hit with yet another criminal charge that carries mandatory prison time if he's found guilty. And my mate, Atozy, he flew over to South Korea because he's a big, like, massive drama YouTuber. He flew to South Korea and went to the trial.
What?
Yeah, I think he might still be there, or he was there, but he went to one of the hearings and like was face to face with this Johnny Somali guy. Like such a big shit stirring moment of like, because he's ripping millions of views off covering this case, and he's actually flown and gone there and is filming this dude outside the courtroom. So funny. Johnny Somali, real name Ramzi Khalid Ismail, has been hit with what's funny about that?
Nothing.
Geez, pick a name. Ramzi Khalid Ismail. That's like English, Arab, and Jewish. Like no wonder the guy's full of inner turmoil. He's fucking all three of his names are fighting with each other over who actually gets to live there. Ramzi Khalid Ismail has been hit with a number of criminal charges since the South Korean government first got involved in November 2024 during his stay. This has been going on for a long time. The streamer was charged with obstruction of business after causing chaos at a 7-Eleven convenience store during a broadcast, along with 2 counts of the Minor Crimes Act for using a dead fish to disturb passengers on a bus and twerking on the subway. My toxic trait is I think this guy is really funny, and I love watching it. And I think he should go to prison, and I think that no one should do it. But I can't help myself. Every time I turn him on, I'm having a little giggle. I didn't like the desecrating the statue stuff, but wandering around South Korea with a dead stinking fish on public transport, I can hold 2 ideas in my mind. That's terrible. It should not be done. Fuck, that's a good bit. That is very funny. Because the joke there being that would be very stinky and disruptive to the public. In addition to yet another possible obstruction of business charge, a legal expert who's been following Somali's journey in South Korean courts says there's even more trouble coming his way, and the punishment could carry mandatory time in jail. A Seoul-based lawyer known as Legal Mindset went live on March 27 to explain a 5th charge that he says has been officially merged into his case. So that's what's happening is he's being charged with like fairly minor crimes, but the more he streams, the more charges get just thrown into the court case that's currently happening. According to Legal Mindset, this charge has a mandatory prison time with no option of a fine, meaning he's almost guaranteed to get thrown behind bars. What's the charge? Oh, yes. So this is the real big one. I forgot about this. The charge that has been merged in is related to AI deepfakes that he made, which included one of Korean streamer Bong Bong, who he used to make it look like that's like the big Chinese city being called Chongqing. It's like that's what it's actually called, but me saying it sounds very racist. Oh, where did you go while you were in China? Oh, I went to some city called I can't remember it. Was it Chongqing? You know, how fucking racist does that sound, especially with the Australian accent? Yeah, I was talking to this Chinese bloke. I don't know where he's from. Probably from Chongqing, you know? Yeah, I was watching this fucking Korean streamer. Can't remember their name. Probably Bong Bong. One Korean streamer, Bong Bong, who he used to make it look like he and the influencer were kissing. See, that is... I mean, that's just digital sexual harassment. I think the better that AI gets, the more harsh these charges are going to have to be, because people are just going to be making more and more of it. It's already been made heaps. And it's really, you know, I saw after he's been charged with this AI deepfake of like digitally sexually harassing a streamer, I saw a stream clip of him, like he got drunk, he's calling the judge a bitch, and then he goes out and he stream snipes other Korean streamers. So he'll have someone else's stream up on his phone while he's streaming and like track them down and just like scare them. So he's like tracking down these like small lady Korean streamers and like chasing them down the street, filming himself doing this, going, hey! They're screaming. And he's just going to go to prison for this shit. Because I watched the woman's point of view. She's terrified. She runs away from him, goes to her apartment, comes out when he's gone, and then just goes straight to the cops and like streams herself reporting him to the police. So I don't think the guy's going to be leaving Korea anytime soon. This falls under a sex crime, the lawyer explained. It will no longer after Ramsey is guilty of this, whether he is proved guilty by the court or whether he pleads guilty. You can safely say, without it being defamatory at all in any country, that he is a sex criminal. This deepfake is sexual because in Korean law, French kissing is considered sexual, he continued. Regardless of the content, distributing AI content without consent is illegal, but under Korean law, if you're French kissing, that's sexual. Oh, so that's interesting. So in their legal system, you can't even make a funny AI picture of your mate, which is good that we're not in Korea, because I've made so many of Keelan, and they will be posted to Spearhead Sundays. You can go and check that out on the Instagram. Those are up right now. None of them are sexual, and not the ones that I'm posting anyway. That's not all. He also explained that in South Korea, streaming such content for profit carries a prison sentence of no more than 7 years. Oh, no more. I thought it said no less. As he also distributed the material using an information and communications network like Discord and other platforms. Johnny Somali is receiving an aggravated sentence because he streamed it. He put it on Discord because he had to do it for the content. That's incredible. So he's awaiting a second court date on April 9 after claiming he wasn't aware of the second obstruction of business charge against him. So even he's showing up to court. They're being like, all right, so you're being charged with this. And he's like, huh? When did I do that? And they just show a video of him doing it. Ah, yes, that was last night's stream. Well, wrap that one in. And now there's yet another charge coming his way that could extend his stay in South Korea for years. However, he did plead guilty to the first obstruction of business charge and the 2 counts of the Minor Crimes Act. So yeah, I think this guy doesn't understand that he's not in Japan. He's in like a borderline a wartime country in South Korea. You don't want to fuck around with them. So good luck to him. That's absolutely hilarious.